Hi, love. Welcome back to Soften Up with Crystal Alexandria. Today is a vibey one. She says that ironically and not ironically whatsoever. So, over the last 6 months, I have been in this creative collective of sorts through an author that I really admire. Her name is Amy McNee, and her collective is called The Inspired Collective. There have been so many countless moments of brilliance. Man, this woman, I'm telling you, she is just like so rebellious, so heartfelt, so nurturing to fellow artists, and also just really takes a stand for the real stuff going on in the world right now and the things artists and creatives are up against. One of the conversations when she was riffing, she spoke about how we, the artists, are the culture makers, the vibe makers, the counterculture revolutionaries. Art is always the thing that carves the path in visual ways, in heartfelt ways, in ways that stir our emotions, in ways that words could never, that only music could, or painting could, or spoken word could. Artists are the ones to create change in a lot of ways. When I heard this phrase, we are the vibe makers, I'm just like, ugh, so good. It's just so good. And it's so true. So then I'm like, okay, we are the vibe makers. What is my take on how I would show up to contribute to being a vibe maker out in the world? My take on this is, how do we elevate the vibe? How do we elevate the spaces that we walk through to be a walking example of what else is possible? And let me share with you very vulnerably, in my hardest moments on this path as an entrepreneur, as a creative, as somebody that is living their life outside of so many cultural boxes. At this point, I'm pretty used to that, but there are these moments where things get really tough, where it's like, I'm not sure the pathway forward. What is it? What is it? I'm in that kind of prayer space. And I talk to universe, talk to God, and I'm just like, let me be an example of what else is possible in this life. That is my highest prayer. And that is something that I feel really honored to be carrying the light of within me, of what else is possible for how we spend our days on earth. I personally don't want to be working them away at a job that I don't care about. That shows up in the lifestyle that I've chosen myself for the past dozen years. I've had to really fight to maintain and protect that creation of mine, to be able to have that time freedom, to be able to have that creative freedom. And it's not all rainbows and sunshine all the time. It's tough work. I've had to really work at it, especially living under capitalism. But when I talk about being that walking example of what else is possible, it comes with different practices and holding different intentions inside of you. So this is my take on a big sister love note to you, of inviting you into the possibility of being a vibe maker out there, bringing your vibration to spaces and places and holding the line of what it is that you value, what it is that you bring, no matter what is happening around you. This is a space where I want you to leave this conversation feeling expanded. I want you to feel proud of what you bring and how you are bringing those things in counterculture ways. I want you to remember that when it comes to creativity, when it comes to those things that were put on your heart to create, that is not by accident. That was given to you to create it. It wasn't given to me. I haven't even thought about that thing. It's not mine to create. It's yours to create. And that needs space and nurturing so that you can walk into that and really become the person that can create that in the world. And these things that I'm going to go through and share with you are some of the tenets that I walk with in order to be the version of myself that I know that when I walk into a room, I am bringing the light. I wrote something this weekend during one of Amy McNee's calls that I want to share with you real quick. Let me find it. This is what came through. This is what I wrote. I am a guide and a lighthouse in counterculture's softer waters of the soul. I'm helping other soulful creatives to live in alignment with their soul, not someday, right now, to live a truly meaningful life that they are so proud of. I want to help you and other creatives, other soulful, sensitive, empathic, incredibly creative, gifted people walking the earth to believe in their magic, their soul, and their power. Consider this episode me in real life doing that right now with you. Let's get vibe. Here are 7 cornerstones of what it is that I believe make us vibe makers in the world. These are mine. You might come up with your own. I actually encourage you to, after this episode, definitely do some reflection on what yours would be. And I would love to hear some of it in the comments, on the socials, wherever it is that you find me. Feel free to DM me too. I want to hold this with you in the world and boost it. I'm going to amplify it with you so that we may not only have the courage to walk in these versions of ourselves, but also be reminded that we have community around us doing the same kind of thing. It really matters and it's so important. Number 1, be the most grounded person in a 100-mile radius. I really believe in this and I really stand by it. Let being the most grounded person in any room you walk in become the new normal. It's just facts. It's just how you be. It's just how you show up. It's that important that you prioritize grounding, rooting yourself into the earth, connecting yourself to something bigger, and living in your body as you walk through the days. Not inside our phones, but in our bodies. Connecting, actually walking through the grocery store, making eye contact with the person checking out your groceries. Does this mean that you have to take care of everybody, fix everybody's problems, figure it out for everybody? No, honey. No, no, no. It really just means that you're willing to be fully in your body, fully present, connected to not only the earth, but connected to something bigger than you as well. And you bring that into the conversations that you're having. You're bringing that energy into the room when you're creating, co-creating with other people. And you even bring that to the workplace. It all counts, even in the most mundane examples. Being the most grounded person in your body to engage with other humans is one of the most powerful things that you can bring to any moment with anyone else, and not to mention yourself. Believe it or not, this influences the people around you. This can shift an entire vibe of a room for you being the most grounded person there. And I don't know about you, I've walked into enough chaotic spaces and places, and I feel like the baseline is chaos and swirl and confusion and stress. So when you walk in fully grounded, connected to the earth, not only is that very obvious when the contrast is so great, but also you will be amazed at how people meet you in that space. You become this kind of instrument for grounding in the spaces that you're in. And you start to just notice and observe folks around you starting to relax a little bit. They're starting to open up with you in ways that they maybe wouldn't have if you were distracted and not fully present with them. And it just is amazing how there's this natural uptick in quality around you, quality conversations, quality engagements, things that make you smile that you totally would have missed previously. There's just something that grounding does to human bodies around you. And I want you to really pay attention to what that looks like for you in being the most grounded person in the room. Number 2, I believe that it is our sacred responsibility to deliver on our ideas, our inspirations, our heartfelt desires and downloads to bring those to life. It is time, my friend, that we get over ourselves a little bit. We need to get out of our own way and get into motion. It's time. It is. You know it is. I know it is. It has been coming for a long time. These things have been with us for a long time, and time is ticking. But just time scarcity alone is not the reason to bring those things to life. It's because they've been put on your heart to create. It's for you to create. Now I'm going to ask you a question. It's a bit of a morbid one. Okay. If today you found yourself on your deathbed, what is it that you would have regretted not doing and not making with your time on earth? It just rose to the top right now. You just felt it. You just thought about it. You heard it. It is as simple as making sure you're making time to go do that thing. That thing that is on your heart that just popped up is your sacred responsibility to make sure that you do, that you make happen. Does it all have to happen today? No, but it is about closing the gap between you and that thing every day incrementally just a little bit. It is your divine opportunity to make that thing happen. And you may not think that you have what you need to make that thing happen, but it is amazing when you start moving into motion around it, how the people show up and the tools show up and the time starts to become available to you. And it just becomes incrementally easier every single day to make movement on that project. But you've got to decide that it's time to go, to make it happen, to move towards it. No one else can do it the way that you can do it. I promise you that. That might be one of the things you're telling yourself. This thing already exists. How many more of XYZ do I need to make? There's already so many in the world. These are just ways that you are talking yourself out of it. Like I said, time to get over yourself, time to get into motion. Nobody can make it the way that you make it. And it's for you to create. Number 3, own your baggage, then let it go, girl. If your identity is all wrapped up in who you used to be, what used to define you, your family, friends around you, old jobs, if you are going to be moving on these things that mean something to you, you're going to be creating from that old baggage. What does that mean in the end? It means more of the same. And you're already, if I'm going to guess, pretty familiar with how that all goes. Do you really want to recreate that? And I'm right there with you, hon. I'm right there with you. I've got to be on top of this stuff too. I really believe that I'm not recreating old things. The energy in which something begins is the energy in which it's maintained. So just to do a check-in with yourself of, am I creating this in response to something negative that happened in the past? Am I doing it to prove something to somebody? Is it for revenge? Is it to avenge? Just know where you're coming from and decide, is this something from the past that I want to create from, or is this something that I can let go now? If it is something that you can let go of, maybe it's something that needs the support of a mentor, a therapist, a coach of some kind to help you really let it go in a meaningful way. Easier said than done. I so get that. And I know it takes real work to prioritize this, but you will walk through the world having done that work and be a far more authentic version of yourself to who you are in the now than you ever could have been in the past. It's like walking through the world with an old tattered luggage from 1999 that you're just like, this is me, this is my luggage, this is who I am. And it's just like, no, babe, put the luggage down, unpack what you need from it and let it go. And we're going to get you a new suitcase. You know what I'm saying? Let yourself be lighter and let yourself know who you are now by unpacking, healing, and owning the baggage from the past. Number 4, your presence is the gift. Okay, imagine this with me. You're mid-story, you're jamming, you're riffing on this really heated story with your friend, and ding, their phone goes off. And they reach for the phone for the 3rd time in 20 minutes of talking with them. How does that make you feel? Do you feel heard, validated, like somebody's really with you? Do you feel understood? Do you feel inspired? Do you feel like you really got somewhere and was able to move on from that story? Conversely, think of the same scenario. You're mid-story, deep in the thick of what you wanted to share, and you complete the story and you're just like, oh my God, I have this epiphany about what happened. You feel like they're really there with you. It's easy to talk with them, and you definitely would call them again to talk through some tough stuff if you ever needed to. They're just a beautiful sounding board and they're really there with you. How do you feel after that? Do you feel seen? Do you feel validated? Do you feel inspired? Would you do this again to talk with this person? Of course you would, right? This is an unpopular thing, but I keep my phone on silent 24 hours a day. I do not let it ring and ding at me and interrupt what I'm doing. I value quality time and presence so much that I don't ever want to be the person to just grab my phone automatically, because it's an unconscious conditioned thing that when it dings, you pick it up. This is not something that people necessarily do maliciously. It's literally how the addiction of the phones are wired for our brains to respond to them. And I know that, I'm not immune to that. So I keep my phone on silent because I really value being there fully in real life with my people. And it's never more than an hour or two when I get the text message or can call somebody back. The exception, of course, is if I know that somebody's trying to reach me or if there's some kind of emergency situation going down. But I used to keep it on for that very reason. And then I realized that is an exception, not a normal rule in my life. I'm not getting emergency phone calls more than once or twice a year, if that, and I realize that I'm grateful to say that. I'm not in a very like high stakes career or anything like that. This is one of the ways that I take action on my values of quality time and presence with people. And it really, really makes a difference, not only for my own nervous system, but for how I can show up with my people. Your eye contact is a lost art. Your groundedness, fully present with somebody, is a rare art. Your regulated nervous system is a diamond in the rough, let me tell you. And your thoughtful, caring, loving responses, AI could never. AI could literally never. These aspects of conversation with people are gold. This is the good stuff. This is where we feel each other. This is where we really connect with each other. We really understand. And the way that we feel in conversation with somebody that's fully present with us, we remember that. Our cells remember that. They register in our mind as someone, a safe person that we can actually reach out to when we need support. We're not supposed to do this life alone, but the lack of presence really encourages us to feel really alone. If you are actually going out on a limb to share something and somebody can't be fully present with you, that for me does not register as somebody that I would call up again to make plans with. Your presence is the gift every single time. It's something that we can all work on to become better at, but don't be afraid to bring it fully forward. Don't hold back your presence. Be too much if that's how it registers for people. If they can't recognize the gift in front of them, that's on them. But don't shrink back your ability to bring your full energy forward to the people that you really care about the most. Say the thing, speak the loving truth, honor your heart, honor the heart of the person in front of you by being fully there with them. Number 5. Create, because it's vulnerable, it's real, and it's uniquely you. We all started out as creative as humans can be. We actually know how to exercise this creativity inside of us, but man, are there so many compounded messages that we're not supposed to do that. We're not creative. It's not going to make you money. So why bother? The measure of whether we do it well or not, or whether it's good, bad, ugly, successful, ridiculous, pointless, that all came later. That usually came from school, maybe family messaging, cultural messaging, being graded on art, which I never could understand. I still don't. Perceptions from others, and even like aging out of being creative. It's so ridiculous when you really get down to it. In my opinion, it's no longer a pass to say, I don't have a creative bone in my body, or I'm not creative, never have been. These are all lies. Every single one of them. You may not agree with me, and that's okay. But we are creating all the time. We make meals, we build websites, we create social media posts, we curate the exact pictures that we want to share on our Instagram, we plant gardens, we doodle in our notebook. We create delicious conversations with each other. We make love. We sing out loud to Adele. We dance at weddings. We love the local restaurant's food, crave it even. We write in our journals. We curate our outfits. We do our makeup. We choose our jewelry. We pick the perfect shoes to go with the vibe of the day. This is all creativity in motion. Jotting down those business ideas, writing down the dream of having a dog rescue, planning the trip, writing lyrics on a napkin, bedazzling the outfit, the glam for the ad hoc photo shoot. It's all creativity. Being in our creativity will not only get us through this gnarly point in history, but creativity is actually the only reason we know about history in the first place. Somebody wrote it, somebody painted it, somebody told that story verbally through generations and generations throughout history. People from the past exercise their own creative impulses. This is a very human thing. This is deep within our humanity to create. And thank God they did, because we're still learning from them of what else is possible with our creativity and the power that it holds to tell stories, to reflect back to us who we are, to remind us of our full range of emotions, and to give us the courage to step forward and make our contributions. I mean, seriously, when you think about it, we have hieroglyphics and ancient cave drawings because humans before us honored that creative impulse inside of them to capture what their life was like. We must tip the scale out of the overconsumption and back into the creation mode. It is literally going to save us. It is going to save our mental health. It is going to save our souls. It is going to save our spirit to be in that creation mode again. The more that we sit back and let the powers that be train our minds and train our brains and our bodies to be overstimulated, overwhelmed, underfed creatively, the more we're brainwashed to think that this is the only stimulation available. Oh my God, we could not be more wrong. We're just so far from actually tangibly creating things that we forgot how rewarding it can be. The more that I have let myself really be in creation mode more regularly in my life, the better I have felt in ways that I cannot tangibly measure to you. It's a deep soul craving that I am letting myself satiate by sitting down to paint and going to creative writing classes, picking up the library books, having multiple books going at the same time, but letting myself read that before bed instead of scrolling on my phone way deep into the night and override my body's cues for sleep. I am sleeping better. I feel better about myself. I feel so much more inspired and connected to other people because I'm literally creating things like this to connect with you. This feeds me so much more than scrolling ever will, even on the best post Benito Bowl day on the internet. You know what I'm saying? It's just more fulfilling to let myself be in that creation mode. And I really hope you give yourself a chance to get in that creation, sink deep into your creativity, and remember this side of yourself. Nobody even has to see it, okay? It's not going to be graded. Nobody's going to even know if that's what you need. But if you do want to be seen in it, sending a little scribble, something that you painted to a friend and just say, this feels like a win today, just celebrating with you. Or hopping on a FaceTime with a friend and I did this with a friend recently where we can chat while we doodle and scribble and just be creative. And it was just so much fun. Let it be simple. Let it be easy. Just get into creation mode. Number 6, know your values and your intuition will guide you wherever you need to go. Knowing what you stand for, knowing what you connect deeply to, there is just nothing better than that. I'm telling you, it's this intrinsic come from place inside you, deep inside you, that nobody can mess with when you know what you value and you know where you stand. Maybe this is age that has gifted me this. Maybe it's being a natural seeker and having deep self-awareness and desire to keep growing, but knowing where I stand, knowing my center line of what is most important to me, what I bring into a room, what I value, how I make decisions best, and then letting my intuition guide me from there. Oh, it just takes so much of the pressure off of my mind to have to decide all these things real time. And in the moment, it's like, no, I know what's my yes. I know what's my no at this point. And my intuition is the instrument to help remind me of that real time when I'm making decisions and when I'm determining my next steps. Discerning what's for you and what's not for you in a reality where social consideration, respect for each other, even knowing where to find truth and news and having social norms for how we treat each other, all of that is dissolving right now. And it leaves us in this really nebulous space of not always knowing what's right and what's wrong and what's up and what's down sometimes. It can be extremely disorienting. And make no mistake, your ability to discern, to think critically about what is going on in your life or what is going on in front of you, to question and to prod a little bit where you need to ask thoughtful questions, it really puts you in another stratosphere than most people right now. And this is not about a better, best, good, bad thing. I'm telling you that these are tangible tools that are extremely helpful for figuring out your next direction and what's right and what's wrong when you hold your values and you use the embodied internal compass that is your intuition to help guide you in your life. A quick and easy way to find what your core values are is to think of what would you want your happiest day to look like? Like think of your happiest day. It could be in the past or it could be something that you're creating fresh right now. Write that down. Take about 3 minutes to write that down. The time container is going to really help you get to the core of what's the most important. Once those 3 minutes are over, you've done your writing, you've done your reflecting, then you go back and comb through it for themes. Is it the people you're with? Is it what you're doing? Is it the feeling that you have during that day? And you're going to start to notice trends. Like, it's this feeling of freedom. It's like, okay, freedom goes on the list. Excitement and adventure, put adventure on the list. Maybe it's quality time, deep connection, valuing the relationships in your life. You put relationships on the list, and you come up with a list of like 5 to 7 of them. Even if you get 3, that's an incredible anchoring of what's most important to you. And this is going to be a reflection of what you value most. These are your core values. On the intuition side of the house, how is it that your intuition talks to you? There's these things called the 5 clairs, and it's essentially 5 psychic senses in the same way that we have 5 physical senses, and they all reflect each other. So if we have vision in the physical form, clairvoyance is the psychic visioning. Maybe your intuition shows you visions of what's coming next or what you should choose next. Then there's clairaudience. Do you hear messages? Do you hear words of what the answer is when you're asking your intuition? Clairsentience, that's feeling in your body. Some people get intuition feelings like they feel it in their stomach, they feel it in their chest. They just feel it in their body of what their next step is. There's also clear olfactory, which is clear smell. And there's clear cognizance, which is clear knowing. When you're asking your intuition, sometimes you just know. It's just boom. It just hits you. You just know. You don't know why you know it. You don't know how you know it. You just know. And that's the thing that you're doing. What of those 5 clairs resonates for you? There's also a bonus one of clear taste, but I find that one to be less common and not exactly as helpful when you're actually making like decisions moving forward, at least from my experience of working with many clients. But if it works for you, put it on the list, you know? So what are your top 1 or 2 clairs that speak to you? This is how you can recognize your intuition when you're making decisions. Another note about intuition is that typically when you have an intuitive yes on something, yes typically feels very calm. It's like truth. Like when something's just true, it's just like, yeah, that's facts. That's what it is. It just is. And so it can feel very like calm and steady in your body. If you have fear or anxiety happening, you can pretty much trust that that is fear and anxiety talking, not intuition. So that's just a little helpful note from over the years of working with my intuition that might be helpful for you too. The last one, something that helps keep me in motion when self-doubt creeps in. Number 7 is to remember that this is bigger than you. So many times when it comes to these creations that we want to put into our life and elevating the vibe around us, being a vibe maker, it comes with so many questions because sometimes it's never been done before. We don't know exactly what we're doing. We don't know exactly where we're being led. But what gives me a lot of faith to continue is that it's not just about me. Yes, on a soul level, I want to experience this. I want to satisfy this desire inside of me that's been calling to me and I've been craving for so long. That matters. That is absolutely important and true. And a lot of times, these soulful things that have been put in our heart to create are not just for us. It's not just to be created for us and it stops there. Creating from us into the world is just the first step often. Then it becomes something that other people can experience. You hear this a lot with like music artists of, oh, it was a joy to create. I loved creating it. And then now it's out in the world and my fans, my audience is making it their own now. And that is just so true, you know? So to remember that it's not just about you, I don't know, it just gives me a lot of courage to continue because there's something bigger at play. And oftentimes I don't know what that is exactly. I don't know where it's going to go. I don't know whose hands it's going to land in. And that does, you know, bring up fear and concern sometimes. But I come back to my intuition. I come back to trust. I grounded myself. And I just remember that if I am guided by my intuition, and if this is something that I am enjoying doing, that it's nourishing and fulfilling and satisfying on some level, I will be shown the next step. I will be shown what ends up coming of it. And I don't know about you. I don't exactly want to know how it goes from the very beginning. It's something that I want to discover as I move forward. And in those moments where I doubt, I'm like, it's bigger than me. This is bigger than me. Just keep moving, keep creating. So, what would you add to this list? I am so curious. What is it that makes us the vibe makers? What would you add? I would love to hear your vibey contributions to this conversation. May we be brave. May we be courageous. May we walk with soft, tender hearts, knowing what our truth is and that we have the courage to create what didn't exist before. And what an honor that is. What a gift. How lucky are we? Until next time, love.